but we actually build our future in the present moment. You don't have to go through some big, expensive program to become a coach. Strategic foresight, coaching, business in itself is about getting results, how much our subconscious is doing for us in a day. That really controls about 80% of what we do. 80 to 90% of people really know what they want, but they've never really voiced it. It's sort of like the Silicon Valley approach to coaching.
Hi to everyone, my name is Daria and welcome to Introwise. And I would like to remind you that Introwise is all about inspiration, tech and business. You could be registered on Introwise in a few minutes just for free. Today we have a guest, a career coach from Nebraska, Dr. Connie. Dr. Connie, I'm happy to have you here.
I am so excited to be here, Daria. Thank you for this invitation to have a conversation around the future of careers and people so we can help them.
Who are you in one word, Dr. Connie?
Okay, I love this question. First of all, it really makes me think even, about myself. And the one word that I would pick to describe me is futurist.
Oh, perfect. Who is Futurist? What this person just does?
Well, what a futurist does is really help leaders take a look at what's happening in their industry, not really just now, but what's going to happen in the future. So really looking, at 3, 5, 10 years out, what are some of the possibilities that could happen to your industry? How do you prepare for that future and actually work towards the future you really want?
So how could it help online businesses, solopreneurs? So what are the benefits from it?
One of the benefits of working with a futurist, and at my company, Wild Innovation, we really combine strategic foresight or futuring with behavior change and coaching. Because what we want to see is companies and even individuals making a vision for themselves. We like to call it your wild moonshot, creating that vision for yourself, but then also create the neuroscience, those habits and behaviors that help you achieve that vision. And that's, a possibility for individuals, but also organizations.
Great. And you already have the experience of coaching with 20,000 plus people. Let's clarify how to value yourself as a coach.
Yeah, I think this is one of, the most important questions that a business owner has to ask themselves. And even as somebody else, if you're working for somebody else, you always have to say, okay, what is my value? And that can be really hard, right? I think, when you're just getting started in something, you're usually in a bit of a different place than when you're in a growth mode or you have, a portfolio of clients, whatever. And so when you're getting started, a lot of times maybe you do something very inexpensively or even for free just to get some practice. Like, because you are expecting to, if you're going to get practice, that you are, using that time of other people. So it's okay to experiment a little bit in that way. But once you find that you're established and you're getting results, I think that's the other key piece here is, strategic foresight, coaching, business in itself is about getting results for clients and customers. It's not just about doing something. And so you have to have those measurable results. And for coaches, sometimes um, that don't take that approach, that can be very hard. But that's where you see wellness coaching in weight loss. That's a result people can easily see and measure. Futures coaching is a little bit different where we help clients actually come up with metrics because we find a lot of people and companies don't have metrics. They don't have meaningful metrics for themselves to say, okay, what does success really look like for me here? What is my vision of the future? What are the milestones we want to achieve to get there? So how do we know if we're successful? And those are some of the questions we help answer. I would say the majority of our business definitely comes from referrals because of the results we're able to get clients.
So if I would like to become a coach, should I explore this field in accordance with profit and success to grow online?
Yeah, I think coaching, if you enjoy talking with people and helping people, I think it's a great opportunity and career to explore because you can just start doing it. Now, they are like different industries. If you work with corporations or businesses, a lot of the bigger ones, I would say, are looking to see if you have any training or credentialing. That's very important as you go down the line. But I would, be very entrepreneurial, honestly, and test it out first. See if you can get some clients, build a unique niche because it is a pretty saturated field. I would say in many ways too. Like everybody's a coach, it seems like these days in some ways. So you're going to have to separate yourself and bring something unique to the table in order to compete. But you don't have to go through some big expensive program to become a coach. You can start coaching right away now, put something out there online to your family, friends, whatever.
You work with career managers and C-suite leaders. They look under-supported, and as I know, and most of them suffer from growth. What problems do you solve for them, and why they hire you?
One thing we see with really high level leaders, especially those in the C suite, is they simply don't have anybody to talk to many times. And they need that confident sort of coach that they can trust and they can talk to, hear themselves talk, get some insights from sometimes, but really just share with and have a relationship with and problem solve together. And even for the C-suite leaders, that wild moonshot's important too, because as a leader, they need to decide, okay, how am I going to make a difference? What does that look like for me? When we work with mid-level managers, a lot of times they're mid-career and a lot of companies have hired us to help with that group of people because so often we support the early entry or early career um, goers. But when you get to mid career, even late career, suddenly it's like, okay, I still have like 10 years to work here, but I'm not sure like if anybody cares that I'm here. I'm not sure what my next step is. And so actually the wild method works great for them too, because one of the central questions for them is maybe what's my new or next purpose, that moonshot that I want to achieve while I'm still here. I don't want to coast to retirement. I mean, and we as companies don't want anyone coasting at all, any level. We want them to be fully engaged and alive and have purpose in their work. And that wild method will help them do that.
You now work a lot with health and insurance companies. How it looks like to assist these fields of businesses? What is special about it? For example, if you take insurance field.
Yeah, I just signed a really large insurance company here, a new one lately in the last couple weeks. And part of what, a lot of companies are going through is major transformation right now. So they're looking to the future and they're, reorganizing. So we're finding a lot of leaders in new positions very suddenly. So we're doing a strengths-based futures approach with them, helping using like Gallup strengths, for example, to help those managers and leaders get a common language. What's something that we can all use in terminology to understand one another and ourselves, a deeper understanding of who we just naturally are as people from the area of strengths. We're all going to lead differently. We're all going to manage differently. We don't have to be like another person. We can appreciate who we are and use that to build a more positive future for ourselves, our businesses, or the companies we work with.
You also said that everyone should be entrepreneurial. Yes, and what does it mean? So every one of us, like an entrepreneur, or how it works?
Yeah, good question. When I research on how to be entrepreneurial, it's not just about creating a new business and growing a business. That's certainly one aspect. But we can be entrepreneurial or intrapreneurial in different companies and organizations to help innovation happen. We can be that in our own lives. So entrepreneurial individuals actually are able to capitalize, they see and capitalize on, opportunities, and they take risks, calculated risks. They're able to control their own future. And that's sort of the bottom line around entrepreneurial individuals. They don't let the outside world influence them in terms of blaming it for everything, but they work through the challenges and create opportunities and continue to grow from those challenges that they experience in life, as we all do.
Do you have any competitors right now?
I really haven't run into that, to be honest. You know, the world of futurists is pretty small. I would say a lot of us know each other that work in kind of similar industries. We refer one another because we have unique niches or niches, whichever way you want to pronounce that. So, for example, I actually went to the University of Houston and studied strategic foresight there with Dr. Andy Hines, and he is an amazing futurist. And he referred me, he's doing some work with the Center for Disease Control, the CDC here in the United States. And he actually referred me to them to talk about the future in a different way than what he does. And so it was great to have that referral. And, I interviewed him for a podcast before. So I would say, one of the ideals that we teach in strategic foresight is that there is competition, no doubt. And I think we have to recognize that. But it's also looking at the world through a little different lens. What's the third option, the both and option? How do we start looking at the pie as something that everyone can benefit from rather than if you win, I lose? And so, how do we change a mindset to say, you know what, we can make the world a better place for everyone? And while we may be in the same business, we can actually collaborate and not just compete.
What do you think about the future of coaching as a futurist?
I've seen a lot of venture capital go into large companies that now, it's sort of like the Silicon Valley approach to coaching, where they get the venture capital, they're working with big companies directly. They sell them a package and then they hire coaches for, X dollars an hour that work for that company. And so those coaches like sign up for the hours they're available, and the company matches a coach with the employee. And I think more of that will also happen, which, as a small business like myself, you really have to think about too. So, what can you do to, maintain yourself as a small business and grow as a small business and not necessarily compete with those industries, but recognize what the future of the industry is going to be?
You wrote a book, Go Wild with Confidence. I just got through this book, and there are a lot of tips just for every day to be confident in your performance and so on. And today, many people are afraid to switch from one performance to another. What are the tips of confidence boosting for navigating a new workplace as you did one day here?
Like, positive people make more money, have better careers, have better relationships, family lives, etc. So if you want to boost your confidence, smile and stay big, take up some physical space. That is actually really, really important. When you're small, you take up less space and people can sense that with you. So take up some space, smile, look people in the eye. That'll help every time.
Super. And the last but not the least, Introwise brand questions for you. Very quick questions and very quick answers. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
How did you find your first client?
Word of mouth.
Why did you become a coach?
I wanted to help people change for the better.
Perfect. Best business advice from you?
Go for it and have a side hustle if you're not sure.
Do best time management advice?
Make sure you are leading a life that you're trying to tell others to lead as well.
What is the best book that inspires you?
Think and Grow Rich. Classic.
Great.